Hello everyone, my name is Yuri Kasdorp. We're back with another track guide, the last one of the season. And we're here at the amazing Nordschleife, or rather the combined Nürburgring track, the VLN layout. We're here in the BMW M4 GT3. A lot of fun to drive this combo. Fan favorite, couple specialists on this track that always end up driving really well. Want to know how they do it? Watch the track guide and we'll get right into it. Right, so here we are. Last sector. Last guide, last week of the season. Tires might be a bit cold, but we're on race fuel as usual. Running low wing for the big Nordschleife, but that does mean the GP track is a bit hard to survive. Especially on lap 1. We're running to the 100 marker, we use that as a breakpoint. Turn 2 tricky because of the rear wing, or the lack thereof. Keep it steady through here. Focus on getting a good exit. And we want to brake at the 100 here as well. Keep it steady. Try to focus on getting good exit. Don't run too far over the green on the right side there. Very easy to get an off track. And we got the chicane, the quick chicane, and just have to focus on not getting the off track while keeping the speed up here. Brake it around to 50. And we take a left, keep it tight, get close to the wall on the exit. The speed up here. Should be all flat down the hill here, just about flat. Try to brake in a straight line. You can clip the grass a bit on the left side here to improve your entry. Try to get good exit from here. Guess we got a long straight coming up. We got Flugplatz. We want to lift a tiny bit on entry to get the nose settled and then immediately flat out again. All the way flat up to Sweden coach. And then small lift on the next crest to keep the car nicely following the inside curb. When the curb ends, you brake. Try to keep it tight following the inside curb here. Flat out down the hill. Get the car up on the right side. Make sure to not have inputs clipping the left curb there. And then slowly slow it down. It's a curb and exit. Then a tricky double left-hander here. Have to lift quite early for the first one to make sure it sticks. And follow the inside curb. Brake down to second gear. Got the double apex. Throttle early. Flat out down the hill. I got miss, hit, and miss again. Brake on the tire marks here. Try to brake as much in the straight line as you can. Very tricky here. I don't know. Brake at the curb on the right side. Bring it up on the curb on the left to try to maximize that entry on the uphill. Then flat out left, I'm going to brake at the big sign on the right side. Try to follow the inside curve here. And a good exit. Again, good exit, because we got a very long straight here. Want to keep it in 5th, because it's a bit uphill, and the car can't quite get to 6th gear, at least without draft or on this fuel load. And we get the mood curve. Tricky corner. We need a small lift and entry to get the nose settled. Use all the track available. Keep the speed up. Very easy to go wide on the exit there. Flat out on this one. Get the car straight for the braking. Brake where the curb starts. Keep it tight. And get the car in the middle of the road. Down 2 gears. And then left side tires should follow the inside groove. And you can go throttle before you think you can. Because the carousel grabs you through it. Brake where the curb starts on the right side here. Smooth on the inputs. Follow inside curb. If you do that, there's nice camber on the road helping you around the corner. Try to follow the insides here. You can hit the curbs. Keep the speed up here. Careful not understeering too wide on the top. Make sure to follow the inside curb here, not run too wide. Brake on the curb. Avoid the off-track on the left side here. And YouTube call or Brinchen, just try to keep the speed up. Brake on the right side where the tire marks start here. And use the curb on the right side there, just fine. Small trick here for the jump is to lift just before you get there to settle the car. Flat out. This should be just about flat as well. Down the hill should be easy flat. Then to where the Dacia had its final moments. And the GT3 car, again, easy flat. Brake quite early here, but not much to keep the speed up. Same for the next left-hander. Use the curb on the right side. Brake on that as well. Much more speed than you think you can carry. Through the small carousel. 2 tires on the curb here if you dare. Small tap on the brake. Try to open up as much as possible to the backside. And then this is where you can really make use of that low rear wing that we struggled on the GP track with. On the Dottingerhøye. I get a lot of speed up the hill here. Rev the car out as much as you can. Getting close to the Bilstein bridge now. The downhill again, everything just about flat. Uphill just about flat. And brake just after the curb on the right. Get the car over to the left side. Keep it in 3rd here. Or in 2nd if you understeer. And that's the lap around Nordschleife, VLN track. Alright, so let's have a deep dive into the whole lap. First part, GP track. We want to be going the left side of the track, and you'll see that the road starts to bend to the right side. And we want to make sure that we're still braking in a straight line. So we're following the white line here. Then while we're on throttle, we're turning. And then while we hit the brakes, we try to have a wheel as straight as possible. And try to brake in a straight line towards the left side. And I use the 100 mark as a brake zone here. Brake in a straight line. Turn 1, fairly obvious. Turn 2 is tricky because we're running, as I said, a very low rear wing here to make use of that on the Dottingerhøye and the other high-speed parts. That does mean around here the rear is unstable. And what that means for our driving is that we'll have to be very careful with braking and turning at the same time because the rear will struggle to stick with us. So very low braking here in turn 2, very patient, quite a lot of just ghosting through the corner as well. That will help with rear stability. And the same thing we'll have to do for turn 2. Be careful with that combined braking with the low rear wing. Turn 3, just try to focus on a good exit. We want to look at the 100 marker for the downhill. Brake at the 100. You can use the runoff on the left side. Careful with the exit here. Exit is very low on traction, so you want to be very slow with the throttle there. Otherwise, you're going to lose the air, especially in front engine cars like the BMW. If you're running onto the green too early here on the right side, it's very easily an off track. So you want to avoid that. Middle of the car needs to be at the left side of the white line. Clip the inside. Get all the way over to the left side here to try to maximize your exit towards the chicane. And we go to run to the chicane here. At the chicane, we want to be looking at the 50 marker. Move over to the right side as much as you can. That means also using the drainage here that you can see on the right side. 50 marker, brake, and then down, third gear, and try to keep the speed up here. Just try to avoid the gut tracks, meaning the outside tires can't hit the inside. Same here, the outside tires can't hit the inside curb. Corner to the Nordschleife. Want to open this up as much as possible. So when we get out of the chicane, bring the car over to the right side as much as possible. The braking point doesn't matter as much here. You just try to carry the speed up, and you want to make sure that where this curb starts to tighten up, you follow the inside. So you follow the inside and then get close to the wall as you can. Entry to the Nordschleife, we want to open up the corner. So the moment this wall disappears from the right side, you want to make use of that and go to the right side a bit, just to open up the corner a tiny bit more. You can use the curb on the exit here. The curb on the apex is way too high, so you want to avoid that. Then on the downhill, this should be flat, but you still need to take every part of the track on the left side here to make sure that this right hand is flat. A tiny lift here for safety is not going to cost you too much time either in the race if you're more comfortable with that. There's this bit of runoff on the left side here that might look scary and look slippery, but it is just as grippy as a racetrack. I've got a really tricky braking zone here. It's left then right, but we want to brake throughout the whole thing. So I want to open this up as much as possible so we can go as straight as possible. And then the straighter you go, the more you can brake. So at first we're braking a lot, then we're going off the brakes, and then when we've done the first bit of the turn, we try to have a bit more straight line braking, so the brake can go up a bit again, and then we start turning in, release the brakes again. Very easy to understeer here, so make sure to not go into the corner too fast. You will lose a lot of time on exit, or even clip the grass, or worse, clip the tire barrier on the left side. It's very easy to do here. You won't be the first and you won't be the last. And for here, you can follow the curb, but you're also allowed to put 2 tires on the grass here to open up the next right-hander a tiny bit. It's marginal gains, but you can try it if you don't mind that upsets the car a bit. It can allow you to take a bit more speed into the right-hander. You want to be with the right side tires on the brakes here, but you don't want to go on this too early, otherwise it's easy to get an off track. So you want to go late onto the brakes here. Make sure that when you enter this left-hander, you're not already completely at the curb, but you're in the middle of the track. That will allow you to carry a lot more speed through the left-hander. The curb on the right side here you can take, but it can be quite unpredictable. So make sure that when you take it, your car's already quite straight and you're not turning a lot still on the curb, because that can cause you to go into the right or left side wall. They're very close here, and again, you won't be the first. All the last to do is if this happens to you. So the way to avoid that is if you want to hit this curb, make sure that the car's already straight and you're not turning that much anymore. Bring the car over to the left, brake quite early, and then again, you want your right side tires on the brakes on the inside curb. And then all that's important here, not so much the entry speed, but the speed you carry on the apex and how early you can go on throttle. And the moment you want to be on throttle from the right-hander, you never want to go off throttle again. So that means that you still want to have a bit of room to turn in for the left-hander without having to turn too tight and be on a limit of grip or at the grass, keeping it flat. Now we got big straight again. Onto Flugplatz. And Flugplatz, it could be flat in some conditions with maybe lighter fuel load. With colder tires, with higher fuel, it can be that the front doesn't quite have the grip yet. And a small lift when you're going into the corner like here will make it that the front has a lot more bite and make it quite easy to take it flat out after that. And if you want to do the lift, you have to do it on entry to maximize that exit speed onto the next big straight. And again, I'm making use of that low rear wing here. Everything flat. Make it over to the right side here. And then small lift on Schwedenkreuz, maybe even small tap on the brake. You want to, once you get to the crest, follow the inside curb as much as you can. And what's really important is that when the curb ends, you're on the left side here, hugging the white line. That will allow you to brake late, brake straight in a straight line, and get a good entry for the next right-hander. You want to follow the inside curb here. There's a bit of banking in the corner. It's very easy to understeer a bit, and when you understeer a bit, you lose a lot of grip. So you need to follow this inside curb, and that will allow you to go on throttle really early. You can use the outside curb here, no issue. Got the big downhill, and then we got Adenauer Forst, where we'll look at in a bit more detail. It's really tricky. Let's go from the cockpit view, because as you can see, this is a blind corner. And right after this, we will go to the apex. On the right side, there's a big wall, and this big wall has claimed many, many cars before. So how do we deal with this in the safest manner? We want to make sure first, on the entry, have your car over to the right side as much as we can. Meaning 2 tires on the curb if you can do that consistently, or at least 2 tires close to the curb. Then you want to brake before we get to the crest, and you want to aim for this curb on the inside. You can't see it exactly, but it's right after the crest on the left-hand side. And the trick for the curb on the inside is to make sure it doesn't unsettle the car. We want to brake before the crest, then turn in, and have no inputs on the brake or throttle. Tiny bit of throttle can help as well, but no inputs at all will help the car rotate around the corner, but also not get very unsettled over the curb. So you want to make sure that you're going quite straight over the curb, so that you're not starting to turn at the curb, you're starting to turn before. But way more important is that you don't have any brake input over the curb. As long as you let the car roll over the curb, like I do here, the car will stick and it won't bounce to the outside and force you to go into the wall. And then right after that, we try to straighten up the car as quick as we can, and while we're straight, try to brake immediately. You want to follow the inside curb here, and you want to go to the middle of the track, or at least not complete to the curb on the inside here. If you're completely at the curb on the exit, you can't turn in before the turn starts, and you're gonna run wide in the second part. So you want to make sure that you're at least not quite at the curb, so that before the apex we can start turning the car to the left side and we get a double apex. It's very easy to overdrive the car here. Just be smooth on the brake and low on the brake, and try to keep the speed up rather than going in really, really quick. Important here is that you hit the second apex and you open up the next right-hander a bit. So you want to make sure again that you're not completely on the right side entering this right-hander, because after this we got quite a long straight coming up again. So you want to open this up to be at least at the middle of the track, and then from the middle of the track try to be on throttle early, and we can use all the curb on exit. Again, just make sure that you're not turning too much while you hit this curb, because it's quite a high curb. And this is flat until we get to here, and this is quite tricky here. We want to lift a tiny bit, and we want to lift early enough. If you lift too late, the car is going to understeer through the corner. So we want to lift a tiny bit. You don't really have to brake here. A lift you do, and the main point of it again, is that the car has weight on the front end so that the car does not understeer. So we lift on the entry, and then once we get to the apex there and the front end bites and we can go on throttle, it's really, really easy to understeer off the road here. And if you have 2 tires on the grass, it's really, really hard, if not impossible, to get stopped for the next left-hander. So that usually results in damage if you understeer on the first left-hander. Then I try to brake just after this these brakes on the right side end. Very easy again here to go in too fast. There's a bit of banking on the inside, so you want to follow that. If you're going too fast, you're going to understeer and struggle to keep it flat on the next right kink. So from here, try to keep it not quite to the right hand side. If you follow this inside curb, you should have the grip to do it. This right hander should be flat. Putting it over to the left hand side here, we got double apex, down to second gear. And because we have a bit of banking in the corner here, as long as you don't overshoot the entry, you should be able to go on throttle before we get to the second apex and carry the speed out. Again, you can use the curb on the exit here, but you have to have your steering quite straightened out when we get onto the curb. If you're turning too much still on the curb, it can unsettle the car. And this next left hander, it's just about flat, but you need to open it up from the right hand side and hit the apex nicely. Then we got the triple apex right hander, and we want to miss the first one, then hit the second one and miss the third one again. How does it look like? We want to open up from the left hand side brakes, miss the first one, then hit the second apex, and then on throttle. And if you go on throttle early enough, you don't have to hit the third one to still make the corner. So miss, hit, miss on that one. And really, really tricky right hand into left hand hairpin. I try to look at these marks on the road here as brake marker, and then try again to brake as much as I can while I'm going straight, and while I have to do the corner, go off the brakes so that the car has grip. So try to brake as much as I can in a straight line, while I have to turn, the brake goes down a bit again, and then when I'm going straight again, I try to brake that last bit to get the car stopped. On throttle early. And we get to Ada now here over the bridge. Again, this corner is very, very easy to understeer at, so brake nice and early. I brake at the end of the curb here. Get the car to the inside, throttle nice and early. Then we got the uphill right hander. I'll show you from the cockpit view. You want to have 2 tires on the curb here on the left if you can consistently do it. If you cannot consistently do it, you get at least close to it. And tiny tap on the brake, but we're going uphill. There's quite a lot of camber, so we can keep a lot of speed up. And tap on the brake when the curb ends, go to the right side and try to carry that speed all the way up the hill. Small tap on the brake and throttle early to carry that speed up the hill. You can just about use the curb on the left hand side, but it is quite tricky to use that. Then for bergwerk, put the car all the way on the left side as much as you can. Brake when you hit the sign on the right side. And then turn in late. You don't want to turn in too early here. Turn in late. Get to the inside curb at this point of the corner here. Try to go on throttle early here. Make sure you don't understeer too much on the exit. You can use the curb, but as you see here, it makes the car understeer a bit, get a bit unstable. But as long as you get a good exit, it's fine. And we got the long back straight. And all of this should be easy flat. I like to keep it in 5th here. The car just about doesn't put it in 6th. And again, tricky corner here in Moedkurve. We want to use the brakes on the right hand side, and small lift here to get the front to grip up should do it. So use the brakes on the right hand side, small lift on entry should do enough to carry the car around the corner. Right hander here is flat. You can do a tiny lift as well because we're almost at the next corner anyways. For here, I like to come from the right hand side or the middle of the track and then straight line it. If you come from the left hand side, we brake straight towards the corner and I try to open it up a bit. So we go from the middle and brake towards this point here. I brake just before the curb starts on the left hand side. down to second gear and keep it tight around here. Then we got the carousel. And from the carousel, you want to enter it straight on. You don't want to go completely from the right hand side and then enter the corner. I try to brake in a straight line so that the cars lined up straight to where I want to go. And then I want to aim that my left side tires are going to be at the bottom at this edge around the carousel the whole time. So what I want to do is that the right side tires get pushed into the carousel and the left side tires is what I aim at. I try to have them around this edge of the carousel the whole time around. And then be patient with the throttle and brakes. If you go on throttle too early, the car will jump out. Don't have to slow down too much though. You can keep it above 90, close to 100 kilometers an hour. And again, the inside tires need to be around this edge here. And then if you keep the speed up nicely here, car still in the carousel. This last bit here, you can go on throttle quite early and the carousel will grab the car, will get pushed into the carousel and you'll fly out of it without understeering out of the road. So as you can see from here on, I can be fully flat already and the carousel grabs the car and fly out of it. Quite a tricky combination of corners coming up here. Very high speed from here until Dottinghøye. I brake at the right hand side of the curb here, but try to brake very light. If you brake too much here, it can upset the car. And this next part is all about keeping the flow up rather than hitting exact lines. And keeping the flow up means not too many big pedal inputs from the brake or the steering wheel. Small tap on the brake there. Small lift there to keep it to the right side. If you hit this curb again with too much steering still to be done, it's very easy to hit the wall. 2 tires on this. Make sure to turn in early. It's very easy to understeer for this one on R8. And it should be flat. Keep the car to the right side here. Small lift or brake even before the left-hander, and you want to follow this left-hander here. Follow the inside curb. You can even have 2 tires on the inside curb, but you need to follow the inside curb. And again, most important part about this part of the track is keeping the flow up. Not too many adjustments, keep a steady line, and not too many inputs from the brake here. Next right-hander, flip the inside, get to the outside, get close to the curb, the edge of the curb as you can here. You can also brake on the edge of the curb. Very easy to understeer off at the top here. The track is a bit tighter than it looks like initially. Make it over to the right hand side as quick as you can. Brake quite early and you want to follow the inside curb here. It's very easy to understeer here and lose a lot of time. So you want to follow the inside. Brake on the left side here. If you brake from the left side to the right side, there's a bit of nice camber in the corner that will catch you here. And you will need that to avoid the off track on the left hand side here. If your right side tires are on this curb, you're getting an off track into Brunchen. Again, small tap on the brake. Easy to, or necessary to keep the speed up through here. Use the curb on the left side if you want. I use the markers on the road here as a brake marker. Try to open it up so we can go on throttle early up the hill. Use the curb on the right side. This downhill should be quite easily flat out. And keep the car straight for Flansgaten. And what you want to do is you want to lift before you get a bit of airborne on the downhill part here. You want to lift before that so that the car settled much quicker after you land. So we lift just before. That settles the car much nicer after it gets a bit airborne. And then immediately when you land on the brakes to get the car to turn in, should be able to go on throttle quite early here. Left-hander should be just about flat out. And then this next part, again, in a GT3 car, modern GT3 car, should be quite easily flat out. Quite early in the brakes for here, so even before these markers on the road and I'm on the brakes a tiny bit, but try to keep the speed up. So don't stay on the brake too long. You can release the brake quickly, let the car roll through the corner, and then same thing for here. Brake quite early, but off the brakes quite quickly to keep the speed up. You can use the right-hand curb here quite easily, even when you're turning still quite a bit. Keep 2 tires on the curb for the small carousel. brake a tiny bit, down one gear, and this carousel, if you hit it with the right angle, so if you want to hit it late, you get close to the inside curb, it really catches the car gets pushed into the road quite a lot, so you can carry a lot of speed. Fly out of it. Then you want to get as close to the curb on the left hand side as you can, or even onto it, as close to the guys as you can. Small brake on entry here. Get the car rotated. Have the car as close to the gas in the middle here as you can, to make sure that we can go on throttle as early as possible for the dotted here. And get a good exit onto it. Then I think this is the longest straight in sim racing. For that reason, we always run low wing on the track, which struggles a bit in the low speed of the GP track, which will get double of that back here on the straight, and even the opportunity to pass people as well. Big straight under the Bilston Bridge. You get the last bit here. This should all still be easy flat, easy flat. You can lift a bit here to make it a bit easier. You can also keep it flat depending on how much fuel you have. And then I use the end of the curb here as brake marker. Keep it to the right a bit. And then you want to aim for this wall here, the end of the barrier. And you want, once this barrier ends, to be as far left as you can after that barrier. So you want to go next to the barrier and as far left next to the barrier to open up the right-hander. And then I understeer the bit here. Normally you want to have 2 tires on the right side. And then speed as quickly up from the corner again. Last side of the GP track, and that's the lap around the Nordschleife and the BMW GT3. Right, so there we go, that was the big one. Hope you guys learned something to drive the Nordschleife, the combined track. It's a lot of fun once you get the hang of it, amazing flow. But first of all, of course, try to survive your races. A lot of people that tend to not survive it, that's why it's called the Green Hell. A lot of fun to drive. If you need safety rating, it's a good track to do it on, as long as you keep it out of the barriers. I wish everyone good luck, have fun, and if you want to see more videos like this for the next seasons, make sure to subscribe to the channel.